The most disrespected person in America is the Black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the Black woman. The most neglected person in America is the Black woman.
So let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. You know, we want to talk about today wellness in medicine, healing the healers, prioritizing wellness.
Absolutely. You know, that phrase, I know we've all heard that many times about where Black women sit in the society. And certainly in medicine, unfortunately, it's not much different. The Black woman is not as respected as others in our field.
And you know, let me pay tribute because that quote comes from the Malcolm X, and he recognized this during civil rights in our society, that the Black woman was at the bottom of the pyramid. And you know, historically, the Black woman's role has been to care for others. First,
Always.
Caring for the master's family, cooking, cleaning, caring for the master's children. And then after that, coming home, wherever that may have been, and caring for what was within her home.
Right, so what are we doing now? The same thing.
The same exact thing.
You know, we're all taking care of families, we're taking care of others, maybe caregiving as well. But on top of that, if you add this business we call medicine, where we are taking care of others and meeting those stressors on top of stressors, then we really have to start thinking about how we protect our wellness. So what are some ideas? What have you been doing, Norma, to prioritize wellness?
Well, so it is critical that this is a very important topic, that we dedicate some time toward it, because it's so easy in our busy day with our careers and our families to not think about self and keep putting self further and further back. So one of the things that I've tried to do now is place myself further and further up, even just by simple things like within work, just making sure that I take vacation time.
Absolutely.
There were years, so when I started my practice, I had to be there.
Right.
And there were years that I went without a vacation. Sure, I would go visit family, maybe take my son to go see his grandparents, things of that nature, but to actually take a vacation for rest and relaxation, that was unheard of.
Now, you know, we talk about when we came through residency, where we did our training, it was different than the residency now. You know, back then we didn't complain about 80 hours of work in a week and being on call every third night. And I'm glad they've changed some of those things, but we may be in that old mindset of you just got to keep going, keep going, keep going.
Right.
Fortunately, some of the younger folks are teaching us that you've got to prioritize your peace. That's what my daughter
That's
said.
right.
Prioritize
That's right.
your peace.
Oh yes, we have a new physician that joined our practice, and she most definitely keeps an eye on her PTO time, as she should.
Absolutely.
As she should.
Now, I enjoy that I have a little group me of girls who were in medical school at the same time. And we just keep talking to each other. I think that has been a remarkable group of women that, you know, we send jokes to, or we send a little TikTok to, that keeps you laughing during the day. Just a little relaxation just during the day from what one of them has said.
Right.
And we enjoy time going on vacation together as well. Like you said, we try to think about when there's some kind of milestone, somebody's big birthday, and we're going to go do something together.
Right.
So are you doing things like that as well?
Well, so I'm doing it with my sister, who also happens to be a physician. She is a liver transplant surgeon, so her time in regard to work and her career is always all-consuming. And so she and I try to keep each other in check to make sure that we take some time out for ourselves. So we have dedicated one vacation a year to each other to spend time together to ensure that we have that time of rest and relaxation. But you know, mentioning your friends from medical school, it is so important that we as Black women physicians create that community where we can come together, find that place of solace where you can talk to someone, share your experiences, and know that the person listening automatically understands because they have walked the same walk and they truly understand what you're experiencing.
That's right. Yeah, it's nothing like having somebody who's been there. And even for our younger, physicians coming up, to be in the same room with older physicians or ones who are in their mid-careers, one who are at their end of their careers, you learn so much just in that space that's separate from the work you're doing every day.
And it's important that we share, that we don't stay separated in our silos where you can just be stuck with tunnel vision, just churning away, doing what you're doing, each person experiencing the same, but then we can release. We can release when we come together and share those experiences and elevate one another and help each other figure out ways to deal with it and combat it so that we aren't overwhelmed, becoming depressed, becoming anxious, and then that impacts upon the interactions and relationships that we have within our families. It will impact how we interact with our patients even.
Yeah, we have to be very careful of that. I found this very interesting that when I was in residency, found myself pregnant with baby number 2, but with baby number 1 and baby number 2, I went through preterm labor and found out that was like a consistent thing amongst women who were in residency, especially Black women. So we just have stressors that are different than others, or more compounded, that even put us at high risk. We're already at high risk as Black women in pregnancy, and then you add on top of that these other stressors of being in medicine.
And then top that with the perception that others have. So you got the white coat on, right?
Absolutely.
You've got that covering, but you've got the brown face. And those who are looking at you are saying, oh, she's already strong, she can handle this. And so you're trying to fulfill that persona, if you will. And so you keep things in that you're going through, not addressing it. And those stressors are internalized. And we know how that can affect us physically, stress hormones can become elevated, which can impact your pregnancy.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, there's just so much about being who we are. And when you think about these kind of stressors, what do you think we can do to make sure that we are keeping those kind of things in check? Other than just vacation, what other kind of things would you suggest?
So first thing we have to do is acknowledge that they exist. So, we have generations of mindset within the Black community, correct? And so I would say within our generation, it was, this is how it is. You're going to have to just be this much better to even make it, right?
Yeah,
you're always going to have to do
much better than you.
Be there earlier, stay there later, work harder, and then you just might get some acknowledgement, right? Whereas now I believe that the current generation, they are more vocal and more confident and comfortable speaking out about what isn't quite right. And not being so concerned about how the listener's feelings will be after it's said. However you feel after I say what I have to say, that's on you. But these are the facts. So I will say that was one of the liberating experiences I had during the pandemic within my practice, and the way we had things divided up and trying to keep seeing patients with our work, our staffing being less than what we were accustomed to. And I finally found that being able to express the things that I recognized were not equal even if the other person didn't receive it, the mere fact that I said it made me feel better.
Right.
And that relieved a lot of stress right there from just holding everything in.
Yep, we got to let it out, and we don't do that.
No, we don't do it enough.
Right. And it's something to stress, especially with the younger physicians coming up. You know, you don't know everything, and we know you don't know everything.
Right.
But to be able to have communication and be able to talk things through will help both of us.
Right.
And so we want to make sure that we are sharing that with the younger physicians, that it's important to be able to talk in a decent way. Now,
Right.
you don't have to show out.
Right.
But being able to have good communication relieves a whole lot of stress.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, and we want to be careful as caregivers not to experience what they call compassion fatigue.
Yes.
So you can give and give and give of yourself so much to the point that you become apathetic.
Right.
And you withdraw and retreat.
Right.
Not just from your patients, but also from your inner circle, your family, your close friends. And then that can lead you into a dark tunnel.
Right.
That's detrimental for yourself, for your well-being. And again, talking about depression, right?
Right.
But let's go back to what you just said about those coming up behind us and the future generation of medicine. We had a conversation, you and I, not too long ago, talking about mentors
Yes.
and coaches. And I want you to share a little bit about the other aspect, because I've always known about mentorship and have been a mentor, right? And coaching. But let's talk a little bit about sponsorship.
Yeah, I was telling you that I saw on TikTok, you know, listen, and where I get all my great news from TikTok. But I really love this explanation of what those different aspects really mean. Mentorship versus coaching versus sponsorship. And this person related it to being at a football game.
Oh, girl, you know I love me some football, right?
Oh, listen, your baby. We went
That's
to those
right.
games.
Yeah, we watched my baby play. Okay.
Right. Yeah, and that, again, and you know, not to divert from everything, but we have to enjoy our families.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's a big thing that helps us to be better. But as we looked at this idea of mentoring, coaching, and sponsorship in relation to a football game, the coach is the person that's right there on the field with you, that sees everything that you're doing and giving you the play-by-play. Right? So that's your coach. The mentor is in the stands watching the entire game and giving you feedback after the game is over, looking at the entire...
He's got the big view of everything.
Of what you've been doing for the entire game, this game of medicine. And then you've got the sponsor who's up in the box with the other people who can put you in position. That person is watching the work that you've done and able to whisper in the ears of these people here that she is the best person for that board position, or she is the best person to become your new executive director. And they really talk about Black women having a lot of mentors, a lot of coaches, but we don't have a lot of sponsors. So this is a unique space that we're in as Black physicians, Black women physicians. And what we're trying to do here is develop relationships or help other Black women physicians develop relationships so that we can get those sponsorships.
Right.
To
Let's
put us
get
in
them
place.
Connected.
Absolutely. And all of that helps to relieve stress.
Also, that definitely does.
If you know you've got people in place that are helping you with the day-to-day, recognizing that you didn't do that right, maybe you could do that a little differently, or here's a better way to do that. And then you've got someone you've been talking to about your aspirations and what you're planning, who's helping to get you there.
Right.
Looking at the overall picture and saying, oh, you might want to think about this. And then all of a sudden you're getting a call.
Right.
Hey.
And you know, when you think about the low percentage of Black female physicians, surely there are some of them in those key places, in those positions of sponsorship.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. So all of that, so many ways that we can look at being healed and being good to ourselves. We work on ourselves and make sure that we're ready for the next position. We take care of ourselves by giving ourselves a break and giving ourselves some grace so that we can develop all the kinds of things that we want to do in our lives.
You know, one of the simple things that in just the past year I have tried to do is have a different perception of time.
Ooh,
so much of my life I have spent trying to do things before I run out of time. Deadlines, trying to make sure that schedules are in place so that I can get things done. I'm always in crunch mode. That in and of itself can raise your stress level and create anxiety. So now what I try to do is look at time as a continuum. Time is always moving forward, right?
Right.
If you are right here, let's think about time coming toward you. So pick a point in time. There's something that needs to be done.
Right.
It's going to come to you whether you stress about it or not.
Right.
So if you have a
That's
different
a unique way to
perspective
look
about
at
it,
yes,
it can help you be more relaxed and say, okay, I'll get there because it's coming to me.
Right. Yeah, I used to always tell myself this lie that, I'm better in crunch mode.
Yeah, girl, I've been there too. Procrastination.
Oh, it's okay because I'm better when it's crunch time.
Right.
Now, I usually get it done, as do many black women. But boy, we have put a whole lot on ourselves to get it done when we could have done what you said.
Look, and we're so much alike. When I know I have something to do and I haven't done it, guess what? I don't sleep as well. I wake up in the middle of the night thinking about it.
That's right.
I might even dream about it.
That's right.
And so it's still on my mind.
Right.
It's impacting your rest. You're not getting all that good quality REM sleep that you need for your brain to rejuvenate.
Golly.
Yes,
there's so much that we don't even think about. It's causing us a little bit higher level of stress than we need.
So you said, what kind of things can we do? Of course, we know all the ABCs, right? Eat right, exercise. Okay, we're physicians. Come on, ladies. You know what a proper diet is.
Right.
Do we get it? So we just talked about being in crunch mode, eating on the run.
Right.
Grabbing something from the cafeteria while you're in the hospital.
Right.
You're eating, you're not sitting down, letting it digest well. For those of you who are surgeons, you're standing up on your feet. You're not eating, you're not hydrating. That's not healthy.
Well,
so
even for the medical student, I remember looking at one of my books that had yellow marks at the top. It wasn't highlighted, it was the Cheetos.
Right.
The Cheetos turn the pages.
From snacking,
So even for the medical students.
So we still have to prioritize self.
Right.
And not feel selfish about doing it.
Right? You said a word there.
Okay?
You said a word.
Don't feel bad that you're taking care of yourself. Because think about when you're on the airplane.
Tell me.
And
what do they say?
Girl, what do they say? If those masks come down, where are you supposed to put it first? On yourself. And then if you need to help someone else, take care of them after.
Absolutely.
Why? Because if you put the mask on them and then you pass out, what's going to happen if you got a child there?
Absolutely.
Right? So take care of yourself. And then you're better able to care for someone else.
So our friends out there, I really encourage you to think about how you can include some hobbies, some things in your life that help you to be, just want to include many things in your life that help you to really relax. There's things you never thought about. I have a girlfriend now who is a photographer, two of them, as a matter of fact, who have chosen that as their way of relieving stress in their lives. I talk about this one over here, little songbird.
Oh, Lord. Can't tell her right now.
but being able to do those things other things that bring you joy, and not even knowing that you might have a skill set that you hadn't thought about. I thought about taking up some violin lessons not too long ago. Now I'm gonna move away from that because that probably is not my ministry.
But you know, I've thought about taking it up again because I did play violin. I still have my violin, and it is relaxing. Music is relaxing in and of
Music
itself.
is.
You know, a lot of things, some simple things you can try are when it's time to get up in the morning, don't get up right away. And I don't mean hit the snooze or tell your phone, 15 more minutes.
Right.
I mean, go ahead and wake up, but take a physical inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Just take some time to do some deep breathing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, just inhale and then exhale twice as long as you inhale.
Right.
And think about from head to toe and just relax yourself before you get up and start your day. The other thing I do is I pray.
Right.
You know, you can get up and do some meditation.
Absolutely.
You know, being thankful to God. Hey, you didn't have to wake me up this morning, and I'm so glad that you did.
Well, and for 5 minutes, I say, be hands-free. Don't pick up your phone. Don't pick up your computer. Just sit there with you and yourself in your spiritual space. And boy, if we all could do that.
What a great start to the day.
What a great start.
Get your attitude in a positive mode.
That's right.
And then when those who come in trying to inject that stress, you can just say, back up off me.
I love this. We're going to help ourselves, ladies, heal the healers.